Buenos días para todos y todas las personas que se conectan en este momento. Le damos una cordial bienvenida a todas las personas que se conectan a a esta transmisión en vivo por medio de la plataforma YouTube. De igual forma, extendemos el saludo a los participantes que hacen parte de este evento de cierre del proyecto
Good
Somos Tesoro,
morning.
denominado Juntos en la Minería, involucrando a las comunidades y construyendo impacto colectivo.
Building a collective power. This is a space where we will talk about lessons learned of the Somos Tesoro project funded by the
Agradecemos la participación en este espacio de la institución
US DOL.
colombiana.
We thank NGOs and international bodies that, like us, fight against child labor across the world. We thank you for the participation of the USDOL and the beneficiaries. The event will last for 2 hours and we'll have a participant from the USDOL, the director of the project Somos Tesoro. Then there will be 3 conversations with the participation of direct beneficiary and the presentation of code for risk mitigation in mining, together with the testimonial videos and space for question and answer. We will now have a few moments of silence to as a tribute for people who have died or lost their lives for different reasons. This way, we now invite Maritza Genia, director of the Labor Work and Human Trafficking, and we invite her. Thank you very much, Alejandro. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. We have many people participating virtually in this event, and this shows the commitment of all of you in fighting child labor in small-scale mining and promoting decent work in responsible mining. For more than a decade, we have worked closely with the Colombian government through the implementation of the labor chapter of the Treaty of the Free Trade Agreement with Colombia and of international cooperation project. We have supported more than 20 projects to approach child labor and other labor violations in sectors like carbon and gold, coffee, oil palm, flowers, panela, and recently ports. I'd like to thank the Colombian government for its commitment and collaboration across this effort. Especially, I would like to thank Acting Vice Minister of Labor, Isis Munoz, who is together with us today, and the Vice Minister of Minister of Mine and Energy, Sandra Milena Sandoval, who recorded a video. One of our priority has been to foster the labor rights in mining. Since 2013, the US DOL has supported the project Somos Tesoro, implemented by PACT together with Alianza por la Minería Responsable, Fundación Mi Sangre, and Fondación. This project has reduced child labor and improved labor condition in small-scale mining of carbon and gold. Somos Tesoro has taught us that in order to solve problems, we need to develop innovating intervention and work jointly with all the actors in its implementation, including governments, communities, and children. One of the most important achievements of Somos Tesoro was the creation of a coalition with more than 13,000 children, 4,200 families, 2,500 miners, thousands of government officials, enterprises, and other actors in 10 municipalities of departments of Antioquia and Boyacá to face child labor and improve labor condition. Through this alliance, the a comprehensive roadmap for the territorial management for the prevention and eradication of child labor, mining child labor was created. The roadmap focuses on identifying child labor, defining risk related with that, use data and system of information to focus resources, use protocols and mechanism to report possible cases of child labor, and guiding the implementation of strategies to prevent and fight against the child labor and create protected environment. The roadmap is part of the public political line of Colombia against child labor. The use of the roadmap is more important than ever, given the challenges that COVID-19 has created. As a consequence, thousands of children have difficulties to go to school. The workers have lost their job, and municipalities have lost their revenues. All this has increased vulnerability of children to child labor. During the event of today, the panelists will share more information about the roadmap and other achievements of Somos Tesoro. Before ending, I'd like to mention that ILAB publishes reports that provide specific information and practice on how to fight against the labor abuse around the world. And I'd like to highlight our annual yearly report on the worst form of labor of child labor in 2020. Colombia is one of the 8 countries that has been recognized for its significant advance of a total of 131 countries. One of the significant advance in Colombia was the training of local officials in the comprehensive information system of child labor. This training has been crucial for the implementation of the roadmap of the route because municipalities can report cases of child labor in the system SIRITI and have access to public funding to face that. We hope that the Colombian government will continue training local officials and other actors in that system and support all the municipality in Colombia involved in mining activities. In this international year for the elimination of child labor, I hope that we can all join the alliances created under Somos Tesoros and double our effort to fight against child labor. As I mentioned before, Somos Tesoro showed that if we work together, we can move forward. I'd like to thank all the children and other partners that participated directly and indirectly in the activities of the project, as well as the teams of PACT, the Alianza por la Minería Responsable, Fundación Mi Sangre, and the Fondo Acción for their work in mines and community to guarantee a better life for more than 13,000 children that participate in the project. I also would like to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues for their effort of coordination in moving forward in implementation of Somos Tesoro. In March of this year, we celebrate the World Day of Women. I thank you very much to all the girls and women who worked, the mining workers, the organizers, and especially Patricia Enea for her leadership in this project. We feel honored to have worked with all of you in this project, and we hope to have good results in the meeting of today. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias. A continuación, le damos
Thank
la
you very much.
bienvenida
We
a
now
nuestro
give the
invitado
floor to the
especial, la
Vice
abogada de
Minister
inspección de Colombia, doctora
of
Isis Muñoz.
Colombia, Isis Munoz. We invite her to turn on her camera and microphone. You are welcome.
Good morning, everyone, and I would like to welcome all the colleagues from the of the United States, especially Marcia, Eugenio for her work, Pilar Vasquez, Randall Higgs, as well as Patricia now from PACT, from the Action Fund as one of the promoters of the project Somos Tesoro, the cooperation that the US government has given to our country, especially in labor topics, has been absolutely key. Projects in the area of labor for over $35 million that have benefited, especially programs to improve compliance of labor standards and eradication of child labor. In Colombia, the employment rate was reduced by 0.8%, considering that in 2018 it was at 10.3%, and in 2019 it went down to 9.5%. This means that 79,666 boys, girls, and adolescents left child labor in Colombia, 58,000 cases of boys, girls, and adolescents that were doing dangerous activities, dangerous for their mental and physical health. 21,000 boys, girls, and adolescents who stopped working at home for 15 hours added during the years 2018 and 2019. Thus, right now, according to the Statistics Department, 1.8 million boys, girls, and adolescents are working, but almost 600,000 are undertaking dangerous activities that affect their mental and physical health, and almost 500,000 are working for over 15 hours in home chores. The health emergency as a result of COVID-19 that has affected the world and Colombia has helped us reduce this rate of child labor. In turn, Colombia will continue for a long, long time trying to fight this pandemic. We don't know how long it will last, by providing care from public instances. As is evident, the effect on the economy and employment is key, and this significantly in turn affects human beings, and therefore not only fathers and mothers, heads of households, but also girls and boys inside their homes. In 2020, despite being framed by this situation of pandemic, we received the result of child labor issued by the Statistics Department in 8 April 2020, going from 5.9% in 2018 to 5.4% in 2019, with a reduction that equals to approximately 60,000 boys, girls, and adolescents that stopped working during such a period of time. We have to continue our efforts, and therefore we conclude that we must continue working by innovating strategies for prevention and eradication of child labor activities at the Ministry of Labor. Of course, we will improve our efforts to attend these different social actors to allow us to reduce this child labor rate every year. In the previous scenario, projects such as Somos Tesoro represent a significant contribution in our country to fight child labor in our country. Somos Tesoro, in its work with representatives of small-scale miners and mining, has achieved significant progress in safety and health and other practices towards formalization. Studies have been undertaken that allow us to understand the standpoint of miners, their perception vis-a-vis child labor, and also not only do we need to understand, we also need to understand how we can set ourselves in that context and how we can fight the scourge. The Ministry of Labor during 2020 undertook jointly very important actions, coordination actions with the project Somos Tesoro. We are coordinated with the National Colombian Welfare Institute and with other public policies to prevent and eradicate child labor and to protect integrally children and adolescents. This course was a course that was given, and significant actors from the municipalities participated herein. 1,200 new delegates participated, which belong to 400 municipalities in the country. And it's important to highlight that 45 municipalities were special special municipalities. A significant number also mentioned that they are part of a specific ethnical group in our country. By here I talk Afro-Colombians, Raizales. They were the group with the highest representation, 83 people in total, followed by indigenous ethnic activities with 42 representatives. Roma participants had 3 participants. The subdirection of labor at the Directorate of Specific Rights participated with this entity, and together with the International Cooperation Agency, we prepared a guideline, a guidebook as a technical, as an addition to the diploma course, which we shared during the workshops held at the territories. We also participated in the preparation and implementation of actions in the celebration of the year of the Day Against Child Labor. We prepared posters and we produced arts for the virtual event where in the day of celebration against child labor, we coordinated for the development of youth initiatives with health, with family offices in pilot municipalities, and we did so also in the case where we had suspicion of child labor. We also implemented a work plan with the officers in the different municipalities. We communicated and delivered a route of territorial management of child labor. We coordinated efforts with CIETI to identify, record, and follow up the cases of child labor in the pilot municipalities of the project. Additionally, we participated with the project Somos Tesoro in the National Committee to Eradicate Child Labor. And all these actions, ladies and gentlemen, have allowed that Colombia progresses significantly in the eradication of child labor. Efforts were acknowledged by the Labor Department of the United States, and the report that indicates in its conclusions that Colombia did a considerable effort to prevent and eradicate child labor in 2019. As in previous years as well, Colombia is one of the few countries in getting these achievements, and we shall continue working strongly to ensure that we continue this path and that we're able to reduce the rate that is affecting us today. Thank you very much. We heard the intervention of Isis Munoz. Now we will hear the words projected in video of the Minister of Mines in Colombia, Dr. Sandra Sandoval.
Good morning to all of you. Special greeting. We'd like to share with you the mining activity that we promote in the country, and mining activity that is legal and always applies the highest standard of environment and social standards. We understand, therefore, that we do not tolerate child labor that violates the rights of children, boys, girls, and adolescents. This premise is shared with the government of the US. This Somos Tesoro is a proof of that, working in the reduction of child labor in the area of small mining and artisanal mining. That is where we have been working with other entities so that together with other actors, actors like the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Culture, the Mining National Agency, the Family Welfare Colombian Institute, and other actors like civil society organization and actors that also work in favor of responsible mining. Even though in the Colombian legal framework, we have the norm of no to child labor, we also know that this cannot be achieved only through legislation, and it's not a single effort, we need to continue working in the area in where Somos Tesoro has helped us work in the last 7 years, the Ministry of Mine and Energy. In the mining sector, we have developed tools to help miners to establish mechanism of due diligence that will guarantee the respect for human rights in the mining activity, and especially no tolerance or zero tolerance for child labor. So we hope that this event that takes place today will be a reference to show that it is possible. And when there is commitment, we do not tolerate any activity that violates human rights in mining activity. Thank you very much. We heard the interventions of Sandra Sandoval. Now, you will see a video that gathers testimonies of people that participated in Somos Tesoros in the department of Boyacá, Colombia.
Este video testimonial se hizo con todos los protocolos de bioseguridad en los municipios de Paipa, Tópaga y Mongua, donde queremos compartir el sentir de nuestras gentes en el proyecto social que llegó al corazón de los boyacenses. Somos Tesoro.
Gracias a ellos aprendimos a aumentar nuestra seguridad bajo tierra. También, aunque tenemos que tener nuestra seguridad social, que los menores de 18 años no deben estar trabajando en las minas, que deben estar estudiando porque pueden tener accidentes. Le agradezco a la organización por su desempeño que hizo con nosotros. Espero que puedan seguir acompañándonos para que nos puedan seguir capacitando y nosotros seguir aprendiendo cosas nuevas. Muchas gracias a Somos Tesoro por ayudarnos y esperamos poder seguir contando siempre con ellos. Gracias.
Nosotros como institución hemos estado vinculados con el proyecto Somos Tesoro desde el año 2019. Con ellos hemos trabajado con nuestros docentes y nuestros estudiantes. Con nuestros docentes hemos tenido talleres en los cuales hemos fortalecido habilidades para la vida y hemos aprendido nuevas estrategias y metodologías de enseñanza. Con nuestros estudiantes al igual también hemos tenido talleres de habilidades para la vida y hemos fortalecido su proyecto de vida. Nosotros hemos estado en pro de mitigar el trabajo infantil, que es una de las problemáticas que se presenta en nuestra institución.
Y me ha servido para mi familia, para mis nietos, para mi hogar. Soy madre comunitaria y también me ha ayudado harto los productos orgánicos para la alimentación de los niños, como es la cebolla, las hojas, toda la parte de hortaliza, porque de ahí saco y no tengo necesidad de comprar. Entonces también para la comunidad, porque la comunidad ya está acostumbrada a que necesita esos productos y van a la casa a pedirlos y ellos los consumen productos de buena calidad porque son orgánicos.
Bueno, para nosotros de la Secretaría de Cultura y Juventud y desde la Coordinación de Juventudes del municipio de Paipa, el proyecto Somos Tesoro ha significado un gran soporte y un gran apoyo para generar una sostenibilidad en las prácticas organizativas juveniles y para poder seguir formando a nuestros jóvenes como líderes, como actores y como gestores de paz. Esperamos seguir trabajando de la mano en proyectos como la erradicación del trabajo infantil, en donde unimos fuerzas, unimos labores en pro de fortalecer la educación de nuestros niños y jóvenes y darles alternativas como la cultura, como el deporte, como la organización en espacios creativos, en espacios que generen un impacto social hacia la comunidad.
Nos han enseñado valores. ¿De qué me ha servido? Me ha servido en varios temas. Me ha servido como persona, me ha servido para ser autosuficiente, marcar de pronto una empresa y tener sueños.
Uno de los temas que más me gustó como tal de este proyecto fue la introducción o la participación de las familias mineras, de las esposas, madres de familia, esposas de los mineros y los niños. La parte de control de trabajo infantil, se realizó un diagnóstico, se identificaron varias personas, pero también se hizo un acompañamiento como tal con capacitación y con pedagogía como tal. Entonces, pues esperamos que este tipo de proyectos se sigan realizando en el municipio.
El proyecto Somos Tesoro ha significado mucho para nosotros los mineros, puesto que sentimos ese apoyo para trabajar organizados, responsables, ordenados y evitando el trabajo infantil. Las ayudas han sido buenas con las capacitaciones, con mucha forma de tener ese apoyo hacia trabajar ordenados, buscando una minería bien hecha, segura.
Con el proyecto Somos Tesoro, a mí personalmente me ha hecho enfocar un poco más la realidad que vive nuestra comunidad en estos momentos, en tiempos de pandemia, y pues en general la comunidad ha venido siendo pues muy enfatizada en el trabajo infantil y pues queríamos prevenir un poco esto, y gracias a la formación en radio que llevamos este proceso desde el año pasado, pues hemos podido contribuir con esto y hemos podido mejorar un poco, cambiar el enfoque que teníamos de nuestra vida, de nuestro proyecto de vida, y con esto hemos podido ayudar a muchos niños, niñas y adolescentes, y la idea es que podamos seguir transmitiendo nuevos mensajes y nuevas cosas para su vida que les puedan apoyar y mejorar su calidad de vida.
Pues inicialmente quiero agradecer al proyecto Somos Tesoro por todos los beneficios que nos ha dado a la cooperativa, a las unidades productivas y a todos los operadores mineros y a los trabajadores mineros del sector del salitre. Nos ha enseñado a ver la minería desde otro punto de vista, desde el punto de vista de la seguridad, de la parte técnica, de la parte ambiental y sobre todo de la parte social. También hemos visto muchas mejorías en el aspecto social, en el aspecto ambiental, en las unidades productivas, cómo han mejorado todo el entorno minero, cómo ha mejorado la cultura de los trabajadores en cuidarse, en hacer mejor las cosas, en actuar de forma más segura. Y desde la cooperativa nosotros hemos visto con gran aprecio todo el esfuerzo que ha hecho el proyecto Somos Tesoro para concientizar a las personas, para mostrarnos la minería y para enseñarnos a ver la minería desde otro punto de vista donde todo puede confluir y puede ser mucho más sostenible.
Afortunadamente hemos contado con el apoyo del proyecto Somos Tesoro. En mi rol como comisaria de familia puedo decir y puedo dar las gracias por las herramientas que nos han brindado para poder avanzar en la erradicación del trabajo infantil. Estas herramientas las hemos aplicado en la administración municipal para así lograr crear nuestro comité de erradicación de trabajo infantil y el comité del 7 a nivel departamental. Hemos contado con el apoyo. Gracias a las herramientas que nos han brindado, hemos logrado tener avances tanto jurídicos como avances sociales en el municipio de Topaga. Nosotros en la comisaría de familia hemos logrado avanzar socialmente llevando estas herramientas a toda la parte municipal, no solo en la parte urbana, sino en la parte rural, donde les hemos dado entrega y les hemos mostrado las herramientas y las bases que nos han regalado los del proyecto Somos Tesoro.
Es muy positiva, puesto que esta organización Somos Tesoro mira el componente social, mira el componente familia, el productivo, y sobre todo algo que nos ha causado mucha buena impresión, el trabajo que han realizado con los niños, con los profesionales que trabajan en esta organización, muy entregados con su trabajo, las comunidades los quieren, la aceptación ha sido muy grande, y pues los resultados se ven en el cambio de actitud de las comunidades, el trabajo que realizan, el empeño, y se ve el compromiso de parte y parte, tanto de las comunidades como de los profesionales que en estos roles han venido impartiendo su capacidad técnica, profesional, y las comunidades que en última son los que evalúan este ejercicio, los vemos de una forma positiva, empoderada, y los resultados han sido muy positivos.
Somos Tesoro.
Muy bien. Dando continuidad a nuestra
Very
agenda.
well. Now, continuing with our agenda, we invite the director of Somos Tesoro and country director of Pacte, Patricia Henao. After 7 years of implementation, together with the design session that took place between the Labor Department US and the Institution of Colombia committed with the reduction of child labor, the project Somos Tesoro ends its activities on 30 of January. I'm not saying that it ends because those of us who have been participate in this process know that they will continue to exist in many ways. And it's made by the people who live off the mineral, all the children and youth of the mining families. Let's remember that the UN has declared this year the year of the eradication of child labor. We invite you that this event can be a reason to be more committed. Today, we have the privilege to rely on the presence of many people and lives that participate in different ways in this process, but we also remember and pay tribute to those who cannot be with us and contributed with their commitment, their knowledge, including proposal for the project, especially miners who felt that in the project found the support to improve their standards of safety and health. With them, we reflected on the risks for children when they involved in this kind of work. Mother, fathers, and different members of household with whom we reflected on the causes of child labor, understanding that the household try to make their young people responsible. That responsibility can be learned in different ways. With many households, we identified alternatives to create complementary resources to reduce the cases in where that is the cause for labor, child labor, and we supported different jobs. We also want to remember children who and representative of juvenile initiatives with whom we explore together activities to find alternatives. These teachers and managers of education institutions that devoted days and open spaces to the learning of new methodologies to prevent school dropout. Representative of the public sectors of mayor's office, institutions at national level like the Ministry of Labor, mine, the public administration higher school, the vocational school, and other with whom in a participant way we develop tools to implement policies for the prevention of child labor. Especially at the municipal level, follow-ups were done to identify case of child labor. Also, the partners of the project, Fundación Mi Sangre, and Alianza por la Minería, also to the partners with whom we have developed strategies like Gramaloto, the public utility company Jensen, and other with whom we have found collaboration. In these 7 years, we worked in 5 municipalities of Antioquia with communities in gold mining area and in 5 municipalities of Boyacá. We wanted to work with the 13,000 children and we ended up working with 13,958 children. Following up on them, we see between 2014 and 2019 a decrease of case of child labor from 21 to 5% and a decrease of hazardous child labor cases from 13.5 to 3.7. We also wanted to work with representative of 3,500 households, and we reached more than that, 4,406. We wanted to serve 2,500 adults, and we reached out to 4,300, of whom 3,600 were women, and 1968 miners, more than the 1,000 we wanted to reach out, received training. After the follow-up on more than 300 officials that were trained in the first years of the project, we saw the increase of technical capacity and knowledge by 74%. Additionally, more than 1,000 officials finalized virtual diploma courses on prevention policies. The project work always with always wanted to build the confidence and trust among participants. PACT, Fundación Alianza for Responsible Mining, and Fundación Mi Sangre, and all the other partners have worked in that sense and have identified elements to improve the implementation. To achieve that, quality information collection and its analysis were crucial. Among other actions, the project created the strategy called CHEVERE, to check, verify, and review, that intended to transmit the monitoring and evaluation plan in a simple way to the different teams working at municipal level, promoting quality information. Another advantage of the process was monitoring system of beneficiary that would be accessible from different electronic devices, so that one could loan data without being connected to the network. Some people prefer to fill out information on paper and then type afterwards that information, but always checking, verifying, and reviewing. The communication between the teams and the monitoring team has always improved the system. The data obtained allowed to make effort to guide actions to comply with the goals. For example, in the case of cases that were suspect, follow-up was made with the ICBF. The mid and final term evaluation were of great help. The midterms allowed to adjust goals, and the second one to identify actions for the sustainability of results. Opportunity that appeared afterwards with the additional challenge to make the project closer to private enterprise. The project also has a strong strategy of communication, keeping open relationship among partners. The project was made by an exceptional human team committed with community, implementing organization that really reached out to the participant of the project, a supervisor of the labor work, the labor department that was very involved with the project, taking on challenges, and also generous people that willing to receive the project and work together. This is why I want to end with a personal message. It's been a privilege for me to work in this project with this team and with all the partners and allies that during the 7 years were part of Somos Tesoro. Thank you very much.
A continuación, le damos apertura al primer
conversation. Now open the first conversation with miners and community leaders. It will be led by Juan Fernando Sanchez. He is subdirector of the project Somos Tesoro, and Yerli Descanse, she's the coordinator of the mining formalization component. We would like to ask the participants of this part to activate their camera, their videos, and turn on their microphones. Thank you very much, Alejandro, and good morning, everyone. The purpose of this first conversation is to promote reflection based on activities undertaken in the different components of the project, the Somos Tesoro, mining formalization, means of life, opportunities to consolidate the work undertaken in the first part of the project and to manage sustainability with the public and private institutions in the different regions. For this first conversation, we have invited representatives of the different components of the project. one representative of a mining unit of Topaca, Mr. Gustavo Cárdenas, two students and representatives of another component, one Mariana Echeverri from Antioquia, from the municipality of Remedios, and Miguel Ángel Neita. He is from the Mongua municipality, and representatives of the Project of Life, Lady Niasa. She is an indigenous community leader, and Madam Berenice Castro, participant from a productive production garden. We would like to thank you for participating in this event, and we're going to ask you questions about your participation in the different project activities and in the different components that you participated in. Let's start with the mining formalization component, and I would like to hand the floor to Jerry Descanse. She was the coordinator of this part, for her to start with the questions. Juan, thank you very much. As you very well mentioned, we are going to start with the component, the mining formalization. For this first component, we have a guest, Gustavo Cárdenas. Gustavo is the manager of El Triunfo mine. Gustavo Cárdenas, can you help us turning on your video and giving us answers to the three questions that we will have to you? The first question is, can you tell us a little bit about the initiative of installing an internet room for the boys and girls of your region? Good morning. I don't know if you can hear me. Well, actually, the idea is that we want to leave a positive impact on our community. We realize the needs of the youth and the boys and girls and the children of the workers who had a significant difficulty because they didn't have any internet access in the region. And well, it was difficult to have access to the internet. For some, the reason was a financial reason, and for others, it is a remoteness. We live in the area of Topaca, over 30 minutes walking to the nearest town, which is the only place possible to have internet access. And this has been key. Basically, now during the pandemic, there are youth who are attending, who have to take virtual college classes. Boys and girls have to have virtual access to school. And of course, at home, they cannot pay for an internet plan. And if they can pay for that internet plan or to the access to the internet plan, they don't have a computer at home. Thank you, Gustavo. And can you tell us a little bit how the project Somos Tesoro supported your initiative? Somos Tesoro helped us in different things. First of all, it allowed us to participate in a project for innovation, for environmental or technology innovation. And what we did was to create a project integrating those things. Sought a way of having solar panels, because solar panels give us an environmental benefit. Well, and that is innovation also. Somos Tesoro provided us with infrastructure. It provided us with technology, the solar panels themselves, and they gave us training. Fundación Mi Sangre helped us decorating that room, that classroom for the children. Thank you, Gustavo. Let me now ask you the last question about your mining community. Can you tell us a little what project you received from Somos Tesoro for your El Triunfo mining unit? Well, different supports were received. The main topic was the awareness, the creation of awareness of zero child labor. Child labor in our community was something very common. Topaga is a mining municipality. 85 to 90% of the economy depends or comes from mining activities. And kids who did not go to school they ended up working in the mine. So let's say that this was the main point. This generated awareness not only for our mine, El Triunfo, but for the whole mining community in Topaga. They also gave us management systems allowing us to improve our safety, and they change the culture, the working culture of our workers by providing more guarantees in their work. They allowed us to visit other mines that are more developed, and that gave us ideas to implement their practices in our own mining units, and thus change the traditional mining for a more technified mining. They helped us develop work plans, and as we progressed, they gave us incentives, stretchers, first aid kits, many things that were very useful for us and that motivated us to be constantly seeking for a better mining activities. In my own personal case at the Triunfo mine, we participated in workshops in different parts of the country, in Medellin, in Cauca, even in Peru. And this opens our eyes, and this helps us understand that good mining or properly mined activities is properly. There's cases of other miners who started worse off than we did. And by working constantly, we can achieve a better mining activities. Thank you very much, Gustavo. With him, we finished the formalization component. Now I'm going to hand the floor to Juan Sanchez, who will lead the education component. Thank you, Darly. Allow me to hand the floor to Miguel Angel Neita. Miguel Angel is a young member of a school broadcasting station from the municipality of Mongua in Boyacá. The question that I would like to ask Miguel is, Miguel, what is this initiative of yours, the youth initiative of the Voice of the Lake? La Voz de la Laguna is a school broadcasting station that was created in 2016 in our school as a result of the implementation of the methodology project Somos Tesoro. We decided to participate. The project strengthened our skills for life through playful and fun activities by generating in each of us individual changes and collective changes, and by promoting the leadership that we youth as social change agents to prevent child labor in our communities. The Voice of the Lake is a broadcasting station that is in charge of promoting and strengthening youth communication as a learning strategy in our school and to prevent child labor in our municipality. The radio initiative, The Voice of the Lake, has been a tool to dialogue, to interact, inform, report, and teach, and thus achieve a social change in our community in Mongua. Miguel, thank you very much for your response. Can you tell us, Miguel, a little bit about the campaign, Take a Craft? Take up a craft, do something. This campaign is a campaign created as part of the project Somos Tesoro. It works to prevent and reduce child labor in mining areas of Antioquia and Boyacá, two departments, political departments in Colombia. It was inspired in life stories of some youth in order to reduce child labor. This campaign promotes that adults develop activities appropriate for boys, girls, and adolescents. The campaign suggests to parents an alternative change to convey the responsibilities to their children through sports, arts, and leisure activities apart from their homework and home chores. Thank you, Miguel, for your answer. Allow me now to hand the floor to Jenny for her to continue with her questions about this education component. To finish this component, we have Mariana Echeverri. She is a participant of the youth initiative Solicito. I'm going to ask her to turn on her video and to answer two little short questions. The first one is, Mariana, can you tell us a little bit about this initiative of Solicito?
Bueno,
Good morning, everyone. The initiative is created in 2015, where we started what we created Sol Solicito, the initiative. And the initiative started becoming stronger in the municipality of Remedios until being really strong. In 2016, we were already present in the most vulnerable areas of Remedios to prevent child labor. Not only did the project help us as youth and leaders, but it helped us all, boys, girls, youth, adolescents, and because we all had access to the project. We became a reference for peace in our communities, and we helped that boys and youth started loving or felt love for education. Mariana, can you tell us what the main impact of your initiative had on you and or on your colleagues who participated therein as well? The initiative generated we were trained as leaders, the social leaders, trained in peace as community leaders. So this had a great impact. We all decided to work with communities in those different paths. For example, we became trained as components for social change. And apart from that, we realized that dreams can come true through these methodologies, and this helps us communicate to the community that the best way, the best path to take is education. Thank you very much, Mariana. We shall now go to the other two components, to the other two participants of the next component.
Juan, your mic is off. Okay. I'd like to take lady to turn on the cam. She's from Segovia, leader of the project craftsmanship and part of the component livelihood. So the first question for her will be, can you tell us about the project of the indigenous artisanal work in your community? Lady, can you turn on your camera first, please? Lady, your microphone is muted.
Yo creo, Juan, podemos continuar con la siguiente.
Let's maybe move to the next person, because lady apparently, while lady resolves in the municipality of Segovia, where she lives, there are problems of connectivity. So while she solves her problem, let's go to the, yes. The second participant that we have for the component livelihood is Berenice Castro. She were in the productive vegetable gardens project. And so we asked her to turn on her cam and ask the following question. Ms. Berenice, are you there?
No la veo, Juan.
I don't see her, Juan. No, she's connected. She has joined the meeting through the cell phone. I was actually chatting with her, but let's continue with Lady, because Lady was able now to unmute her mic, so maybe we can move back to her. Hi, Lady, how are you? Given that you can speak, yes, okay. Oh, hi, Lady, how are you? Lady, so the first question for you, can you tell us about the craftsmanship project that you have, which you have been the leader in your community? We are a group of women of 7 different places, and we are part of the community La Chiriza in the municipality of Segovia. We have always worked with crafts, but we never made a business of our craft. When Somos Tesoro arrived to our community, then thanks to them, Somos Tesoro realized that the activity we carried out was very important for us, and that we had all skills, and so we received from them training to improve our skills, and therefore create a project that would enable us to work and generate revenues for our needs. Thank you very much, lady. Can you tell us also what was the support provided by Somos Tesoro for this initiative to strengthen in your community? Well, the project trained us and brought people who were expert from outside to sort of teach us how to produce different products and use different colors and styles, and also taught us how to have a portfolio of our products, which was very important for us because it has been useful to showcase our products, to showcase our product also outside the municipality where we live by participating in fairs and in events in other municipalities. They also taught us how to make savings. Now we have a saving account in Colombia with the saving that are result of the sale of our products. It's not very much what we have been saving, but it's more than enough compared to the fact that before we did not really know anything about savings. We have also received now support from a local institution, and we have and this link with the local administration is very important because they now invite us to participate in all the events that they artisanal events that they create. Thank you very much, lady. And Yearly, let's see if Berenice is online. No, I don't see it. I don't see her. Maybe she might be. Lady Berenice, can you hear us? No, Juan. Apparently, Lady Berenice is not has not joined the meeting. Well, maybe she has a problem of connectivity. She's from a rural community. Surely she had some problems, even though I was able to talk with her before. So, but maybe because of connectivity issues. So let's close this conversation, and we thank all the participants for willing to participate, and we give the floor again to Alejandro to continue with the agenda. Thank you very much to all of you. Juan Fernando and Yerli, thank you very much. We apologize to all participants who are with us. Some of the people live in rural areas and have issues with connectivity. And now we will have the second conversation with representative of the government. This will be moderated by Patricia Enao, director of the project and country director of PACT. We encourage people who participate in this second conversation to turn on their mics and camera. If there are questions can be asked in and written in the chat. Thank you very much, Alejandro, and thank you very much to all participants. I'd like to welcome today Marta Ustus from the Vice Direction of ICBFs, Lina Maria Escobar from the Ministry of Mines, Mauricio Rubiano, in the Ministry of Labor, Ana Edelmira, Charlie Tatiana Vanegas, and Juliana Medina, in coordinator of CAT in PIPA. They might or turn on their webcams. I'd like to start by asking Marta Bustos if she can give us an example that she could share with us, um, given that you have worked in different offices of the national and regional government. Can Marta, can you tell us a bit about this? Thank you very much, Patricia. Good morning to all of you. Special greetings to Pilar Velasquez, Randall Haynes, from the USDOL, and all the human talent that has participated in development of this project. Since the implementation of this project, the ICBF, in coordination with other entities of the state, like the Ministry of Labor and Mines, the Governor's Office of Antioquia, Boyacá, and the municipalities of different places, supported technically the process. With regard to the questions of Patricia, the progress that were managed and coordinated with other entities of the state were due to the support given in implementing the tools that allow to measure the decrease of child labor and allowed also to intervene children that were identified and cross-reference it with the database. Similarly, with PACT and Fondo Acción, since 2018, with the support of the Ministry of Labor and the participation in the platform of the public administration school, we were able to develop a diploma course that since 2018 has strengthened the public policy for the prevention of child labor. We were able to design the units that allowed to acknowledge and get to know all the actors in the territory. PACT has also supported the development and design of guidelines to complement the project, like the guidelines for the prevention of child labor, a very interesting document that allows to strengthen actions in the field. With Fondo Acción, we worked in the framework of public policy, allowing the development of the annex for the prevention of child labor. With Fondo Acción, we also developed a video to report cases of child labor. That video has been shared with all actors in the field so that everyone would know how to report child labor issues. We also were able to strengthen the members of the Committee for the Eradication of Child Labor in the departments of Antioquia, Boyacá, and across all the target municipalities. We supported them at local level and from the main from the headquarters. Also, we worked with the Ministry of Mines and Lina, and we supported the development of a number of documents, such as the guideline for mining free from child labor, and different guidelines that allowed miners and the mining community to have tools to prevent child labor. Also, the different mobile teams of mobile protection in the field. Together with them, we have identified and supported the development of project. With Fundación Mi Sangre, we also gave them technical support. So this is really a project that allowed for coordination among many actors in the system that are responsible for the life of boys, girls, and adolescents. And I'd like to thank Somos Tesoro for the installed capacity given to the municipality that we're able now to own this topic and reach the zero tolerance. As you said, Martha, the team of the Ministry of Mines, also Lina is there, and maybe Lina can tell us, and also Martha maybe can comment on what the different leaders have said. Lina Maria, thank you.
Tell us if you can give us more guides about the products that we have worked together, in your case with ARM, but whatever you want to tell us. I think Martha just opened the path very well. Indeed, the Ministry of Mines and Energy has always had the support of Somos Tesoro, and of course, the support of the Colombian Welfare Institute, very well represented by Martica, as we call her. And it's true, the exercise that we did with the contribution of Somos Tesoro was the coordination from the project, where the Ministry of Mines and Energy and the Colombian Welfare Institute had developed the methodologies to eradicate child labor. It's true, the Ministry of Mines in 2017 signed an inter-administrative convention, 169 of 2017, with the purpose of joining efforts, administrative and human efforts, to be able to reach out to the territory, to the area, in order to prevent and eradicate child labor in the areas where we have mining activities. So we did a whole exercise, coordination exercise, sharing best practices, all this methodological work, which was very interesting, because it allowed us strengthening the strategies that we had to implement as part of this convention with the Colombian Welfare Institute, ICBF. Martha did a very clear presentation, as she just finished, and the purpose of that was not only to reach out to workers, but also co-workers of the Ministry of Mines and Energy. And we went to provide this technical assistance, not only from the standpoint of the technical and environmental component, but also from a social standpoint, to talk to these people, to tell them what child labor is, what are the mechanisms to prevent it. And followed by this coordination exercise, we developed a series of booklets, 2 key booklets, that were later handed out to the objective population coordinators, to give boys, girls, and adolescents those caring environments, and that the miners knew exactly what child labor is, mining over coordinators, that they understand the risks, to not only look for these caring environments in the surrounding areas, but within the community. So today, Patricia, is the result of something that is very important and that we managed to install in the different areas. And of course, this contribution from the United States through Somos Tesoro is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you, Lina. Allow me now to hand the floor to the Ministry of Labor, Mauricio Rubiano. But what Lina just said connects us very much with one of the questions that we were asked in the chat in YouTube, and that is, what risk activities are these boys and girls exposed to when we talk about mining? from the standpoint of definitions that we worked on jointly with the Colombian Welfare Institute, with the ministry, with the Labor Department, Department of Labor of the United States, the project always understood that any activity close, not only exclusively of direct mining, but close to mining activities, for example, taking lunches to the mining areas, being close to the mine itself, are activities that generate risks for boys, girls, and adolescents. And that is why we have invited two people who work directly in these interinstitutional committees to eradicate child labor. Because as Martha mentioned, we did a coordinated work. When we found cases where we suspected that there was child labor, because boys, girls, and adolescents so said it, we then followed with a constant monitoring process to understand which were the activities that they were undertaking that could be considered child labor and dangerous child labor. From the Ministry of Labor, if Mauricio, if you are connected, I would very much appreciate if you could turn on your video, and maybe if you're not connected, then I would like to hand the floor to Charlene Tatiana, who can tell us how that works, how SIETI works when one suspects that there is child labor, or how you can analyze a situation whenever there is a risk for a boy or girl. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Patricia. When we invite to a discussion, to a task force, is to expose the difficulties that we have had as part of the framework that we have in the municipality. It's worthwhile mentioning that we are a mining municipality. Obviously, the rights of boys, girls, and adolescents are more affected here in terms of mining activities. So we develop what we call the attention route. The attention route we implement whenever needed. In the municipality, we're about 50,000 inhabitants. Nonetheless, we do not have an office of the Colombian Welfare Institute. So everything, it lies, all activities related thereto are undertaken by the family police. We have had great support nonetheless by them. And one of the products that I'm very proud of, and I don't know if you can see this, it's this booklet here. It's this booklet that includes all the elements that our women weavers of the community La Chinita do. This booklet has prices they can sell via internet, and we have these booklets in the different parts of the municipality, and they can sell their products. Last year, we had a wonderful support on the part of Somos Tesoro to reactivate of what we call the Siete task force. Monica Vargas supported us very much to re-establish this this task force, to organize it legally, and for it to stay in the municipality forever, because the intention of this administration is that all these projects and programs and processes, that they stay here, that they stay forever, and that they are not only implemented during the time of an administration and that they vanish with the next one. That's why with Monica, we organized this according to the early childhood and adolescent policy that has already been approved by the municipal council and by the municipal development plan called Generating Trust. Lines 1 and 3 that talk about prevention and eradication of child labor. These education and training components continue or are undertaken, where we undertake campaigns of promotion and prevention to minimize the impact that this has in the municipality, because we have had difficulties regarding child labor. What Patricia mentioned a while ago, just the fact that a child is with his or her mother in a certain area with just the fact that the child is in that place and in itself affects the child's rights. Based on that, we have been undertaking activities with private companies and with the municipal administration to be able to focus on that, also considering the differentiating focus of the municipality. Charlie, Tatiana, thank you very much. And considering time, I would like to hand the floor to Tatiana. Maybe you can tell us very briefly the work that Charlie, Tatiana just started introducing in terms of the support, or rather the results that were achieved in child prevention as part of the municipality's development plan. Tatiana, the floor is yours. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I would like to greet on behalf of the municipal administration of Paipa, on behalf of Fabio Medrano. He's the biologist who has participated very much in everything related to early childhood and adolescence. First of all, I would like to tell you that I work in the family office of Paipa, and therein we have the technical secretary of the municipal city. So we first worked on reactivating all the city institutions so as to be able to put in line and understand the functions of this task force as CIT, to understand what each institution must do. Somos Tesoro helped us significantly in all of the technical support to reactivate the municipal CIT, which is the task force, and it cooperated with the technical advice to develop the action plan that we would have therein. There was also a very well coordinated work with Somos Tesoro, because they already had focused us or had identified specific cases of suspected child labor in a specific school. That school that is also located in an area where the main economic activity is the mining activity. 7 likely cases were reported, and at the family office, we visited the households together with a psychologist and educator to verify which were truly those cases that required an administrative procedure to reestablish the rights of these children. We did the visit, we had discussed and created awareness amongst with the parents, and we decided to continue doing a follow-up, and an activity that is also included within the action plan for 2021. So to a large extent, this was very much in coordination with Somos Tesoro, and Somos Tesoro supported us very, very much. Thank you very much, Juliana. I think that I am always very thankful with those, and we're always very thankful with those that we could enter into alliances with and become allies of. And thank you very much, Juliana, Charlie, Tatiana, and all the municipalities who are so open to have us. I think we were not able to establish a communication with Mauricio from the ministry. But anyway, thank you very much. We've worked very closely with the ministry, and the principal of the Mangua school, she could not join. She wanted to join us and tell us a little bit about the initiative of the radio station and the coordination between the mayor's office, the school, and the youth. But for us to have found all these options of approaching the municipalities, approaching them and approaching the state institutions, allowed us to have this all come about. With this, we finish this panel. Thank you very much. The floor is yours, Alejandro.
Thank you very much, Patricia. We'll thank once again, the people who participated. Now, we will now see a video that gathers testimonies of people that participated in the implementation of Somos Tesoro in Antioquia, Colombia.
El proyecto Somos Tesoro ha influido para mí de manera que me ha reforzado para mi crecimiento y desarrollo como persona. Como joven puedo prevenir el trabajo infantil en mi municipio de manera que puedo darles a conocer a los más pequeños y como meterles en la cabecita que tienen que pasar por algunos procesos, tienen que jugar, tienen que divertirse, tienen que estudiar y hay que aprovechar los momentos, o sea, disfrutar cada etapa, quemarla a su debido tiempo y no adelantarse.
Gracias a Somos Tesoro hemos podido comercializar nuestros productos, trabajar más en las artesanías, mejorando el trabajo y también hemos conseguido más clientes por ese gran apoyo que ellos nos han brindado.
El proyecto Somos Tesoro ha significado algo muy enriquecedor. Se ha potencializado en los chicos y se les ha recalcado que ellos como niños tienen están pasando por una etapa muy hermosa, que es la niñez, y que lo único que deben de hacer durante esta etapa es estudiar, obedecer a sus padres y compartir con todos sus compañeros.
El proyecto Somos Tesoro ha significado para los docentes de la Institución Educativa Rural Providencia un proceso de aprendizaje el cual ha fortalecido y ha enriquecido académicamente tanto profesional a los docentes, y a esto ayuda que es una herramienta fundamental para llegar más a los alumnos, para que ellos vean otra forma de cómo se transforma la educación y cómo pueden ser útiles para la sociedad.
El proyecto Somos Tesoro ha significado para las unidades mineras un gran cambio cultural, por decirlo así, porque con sus profesionales y ser un ente externo, los mineros han cambiado el chip, donde la cultura de hacer minería de cualquier manera se ha cambiado para la minería tecnificada. Como director o representante legal de Minero La María, SAS, hemos tenido un cambio muy significativo con el acompañamiento que hemos tenido con Somos Tesoro. Se ve en la actitud de los empleados, en los gerentes de cada UPM, por eso siempre es el agradecimiento eterno con el proyecto Somos Tesoro, especialmente con la ARM y los profesionales de campo que han estado acompañándonos en este programa.
Me ha servido participar en el proyecto Somos Tesoro para mejorar como persona, edificarme como trabajador, en valores, responsabilidades para conmigo y con mis compañeros. Los aprendizajes que he tenido con el proyecto Somos Tesoro los he aplicado de la siguiente manera. 1. Aprender a planificar. Es importante tener gran planificación en el desarrollo de estos proyectos. 2. Excepción de género. Saber de que no hay persona excluida para hacer y capacitarse para la minería. 3. Aprender sobre cada uno de los manuales que tenemos en compromisos de la minería, como lo son reglamentación, seguridad social, grandes capacitaciones que día a día me han ido fortaleciendo mis valores.
Desde la Secretaría de Agricultura y Recursos Naturales hemos evidenciado un gran avance en cuanto al tema de trabajos de actividades de la minería, especialmente en SAS La María, que se ha fortalecido un gran trabajo con ustedes de Somos Tesoro. Queremos que continúen estos trabajos, que ustedes sigan desarrollando cada uno de los planes de trabajo, no solo desde la minería, sino también con los temas de erradicación del trabajo de la infancia y el tema de seguridad alimentaria en todo el tema de nuestro municipio de San Roque.
Desde mi rol como comisario de familia, esta participación en conjunto con todo este equipo tan importante de Somos Tesoro ha sido fundamental para cumplir todos los objetivos de nuestro plan de acción. Debemos mencionar de que ha sido un año muy difícil por el tema de la pandemia, por el tema de la protección que debemos tener. Sin embargo, los funcionarios de Somos Tesoro han sido un brazo importante para conocer nuevos casos, para conocer riesgos de vulneración, pero también para mirar estrategias de intervención en cada una de las familias y los sectores priorizados para disminuir el riesgo de estas peores formas de trabajo infantil.
Una parte primordial para prevenir el trabajo infantil son los espacios de cultura, deporte, teatro, música que se vienen trabajando. El apoyo del proyecto Somos Tesoro es de vital importancia para dar avance a todos estos procesos.
Para mí Somos Tesoro es un proyecto bastante interesante que se viene desarrollando hace varios años en el municipio de Remedio. Nosotros como Secretaría de Desarrollo estamos apoyando con el acompañamiento, con el aporte de algunas semillas para que las huertas se puedan desarrollar de mejor manera.
A mí me han capacitado muchísimo, cómo cultivar, también me han dado la orientación de cómo puedo tratar a mis hijos y a los demás niños sobre el maltrato infantil, que para que ellos se puedan salir adelante en el estudio, ser alguien en la vida, que ellos verdaderamente sean unas personas que le puedan servir a la comunidad y al país.
Es muy chévere que lo que hace que yo esté acá y llegó este proyecto de Somos Tesoro hasta Vereda. La vereda ha cambiado mucho, nos hemos distraído igual mucho porque pues ahora por esta pandemia no hemos podido hacer lo que hacíamos antes en compartir, en estar juntos. Entonces me ha parecido pues lo que hace que está este grupo de Somos Tesoro es súper chévere, esas clases, lo que han hecho por esta vereda, pues muy chévere y muy agradecida con eso.
Le agradecemos a las personas que siguen conectadas a la transmisión en vivo por
We thank the people that are still connected to the YouTube channel. And now we invite Natalia Uribe, leader of the Standard and Certification Area for the Alliance of Responsible Money, for the presentation of the Code for the Mitigation of Risk in Mining Craft. Please turn on your microphone and cam. Thank you very much. You are welcome. Thank you, Alejandro. Greetings to all of you. My intervention will present the craft code, the code for the risk mitigation in small-scale mining. This code was implemented in mining sites of the project and represents an answer on how due diligence can be applied to artisanal or small-scale mining and facilitates the connection of miners to formal market. The code was born in the across mineral importing countries like the US and the EU and other countries that have specific regulation on due diligence and supply of minerals. This code is intended not to exclude it's important to highlight that the code was through a participative project at international level with the Association of Small Miners, industry experts, governments, and others. So this has led to the second version of this code last year. It's been facilitated by the several organizations. Now, how can identify and mitigate risk as a result of the activity? And these are some of the benefits of the implementation of this code for the the code is an ally to comply with regulations, for example, of the European Union based on the due diligence guidelines of OECD. Also it contributes to better practices and to the due diligence. Also for the minors, it's a way to understand and improve credibility and the reputation of the sector, and also understand what are the different regulation, and provides access to legal supplies.
Benefit that we see here is
legitimizar el sector y reducir los impactos que pueden existir de implementar esta actividad. Además, siguiente, solo para presentarles muy brevemente de qué trata el código, porque se preguntarán qué temas incluye. Es una propuesta paso a paso. Primero hay que pensar, digamos, cómo organizarnos, qué gestión interna.
It's a step-to-step procedure to implementation of this module. Some associated to violation to human rights, others to conflict, other to finance certification, and then it improves gradually. In the module 5 is about progressive criteria, and so the minors can achieve certifications like the formal certification. I'd like to say that the connection of the implementation of craft is because in the chapter about human rights, there are one of the aspects is to identify the worst form of child labor and violation of human rights. Also to improve transparency and establish a commitment on part of the enterprises. So apart from these two models that are focused on the guidelines of due diligence of the OECD, the craft code also intends to practically apply rulings to the mining. And this chapter talks about the different elements that are concerned a priority. So are related to education and child labor and other aspects. Now, having given this international context and the goal of the craft code, I'd like to show you how Alliance for Responsible Mining implements the code. The first one has to understand the territory, and then create coordination with key actors. And in addition to that, then miners identify risk, and an improvement plan is suggested. Next slide. Then this exercise was done at the territorial level. So in the municipalities of San Roque and Paipa, thanks to the development of the Gramalote project and Mineros La María Sass, we see that these associations were able to perform the analysis by understanding the reality of the municipalities. Interviews were made, interactions occurred to understand the kind of risks that were present. And then after having concluded this mapping to understand the area, then we analyzed the kind of impact that risk can have at municipal level. So due diligence was made, and the different cooperatives identified actions to be implemented, creating policies, identifying tools that can help to see whether there are or not risk of child labor, then identifying the different associations involved in that study. And something also important is that each small scale mining association, after having identified risks in a participant way with miners, and after identified possible roadmaps in connection with local authorities, then all that becomes a tool of communication, which we call craft report. A craft report that gives different information to the public. And finally, these pictures show some of the activities that were framed in the plan of risk mitigation in the pilot mines of San Roque and Paipa, where the craft code was implemented, where internal regulations were developed and shared with the people, an aspect related to environmental issues of ongoing improvement, healthy life habits, etc. And I'd like to end my intervention that you can visit the website www.craftsmine.org, and we also have other tools that we have developed for responsible small-scale artisanal mining, where we offer different informations that are in the craft code. Thank you very much. Natalia, thank you very much for your intervention. And now the third conversation on the experience of the implementation, a space moderated by Pilar Velasquez. Those who have questions can write in the YouTube chat, and those questions will be answered in the final question and answer session. Thank you very much, Alejandro. Thank you very much to all of you who are following us. We will have a reflection now on the comprehensive approach of the project, and we will follow up on the presentation made by Natalia on the craft code. So I would like to invite Mr. Dorian Sosa, the legal representative of Ala Maria. Can you unmute your microphone, please? Yes, yes, good afternoon to all of you. Yes, this is Dorian Sosa speaking. Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, representative, legal representative of Mineros La Maria, Mr. Dorian. I'm glad that you have recovered from COVID-19. It's really beautiful to see you today with us. I'd like to ask you, can you talk about the main achievement that mining units have achieved through the work that you have done together with the Somos Tesoro project? Oh, well, the main achievement is awareness of all the staff on due diligence. Due diligence, thinking about the craft code, because we come from years of lack of formality. So, of course, the support of Somos Tesoro, talking with all the miners, is something that really helped. That the other thing, other achievement are the different policies that have been created. For example, the policy of gender equity was really important for us because Somos Tesoro helped us implement that policy, and it was really successful in the region. Uh, and I'd like to also highlight that today we are closing a cycle whereby we are now formally working, and and so today is the day where money has been paid for the final formalization.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to invite now Juan David Ramirez, Sustainability Manager of Gamalote, to open his microphone, as well as Paola Aristizabal and Povelia Cintua, professionals of corporate social responsibility of HINSA. Juan David, thank you very much. Mr. Sosa, I don't know if you can mute your microphone and close your video. Thank you. Juan David, thank you very much for being with us here today. Following up on what Mr. Dorian has just said, I would like to ask you to tell us a little bit about the type of relation or model that you were able to implement with Mineros a la Maria. Well, thank you, everyone. Greetings to you and to the Somos Tesoro team, for all the Colombian and local government institution representatives and La Maria, to be able to show La Maria, not only because we've had important and specific results, but also because we've understood that this is a social process. Legality has generated a transformation in the territories, and La Maria is a proof of this, because they see the different moments of legality, the commitment with the mining formalization, and hearing Dorian talk about explosives today with the ministry, with the institutions, with the Secretary of Mines with the municipality of San Roque, and with Somos Tesoro, makes us very, very happy, because that is what Gramalote wants to do from the standpoint of sustainability, understanding that mining formalization is a process or a very important social component. And our exercise as a corporation has been to join efforts with allied institutions. And when Somos Tesoro arrived in Gramalote, we said, yes, because this is not the success of a particular organization. This is the success of everyone, and a very important role of the institutionality and the exercise of oversight and follow-up on formalization activities, and a commitment of communities such as the miners of La Maria and all the communities around the Gramalote seat, which is a way to formalize activities in the territory in the long run. And that's our wager. It's not understanding formalization only from the concept of coexistence, where we have the big company and small miners, but also seeing ourselves around the sustainable development of the region with a future vision, and that this transforms the lives of their families, the lives of the miners, their children, that they can reinvest their resources from mining activities in processes that improve the region, that improve their education competencies, that they meet the regulations, and that they're committed with the compliance of standards and human rights. And thus, we commit ourselves with not to have child labor. We commit ourselves with achieving international standards and meeting them. And as I tell the miners on a day-to-day basis, we're not thinking about the local market. That's why the exercise with the ARM in the framework of Somos Tesoro is we are focused on ensuring that miners in this region can sell their gold in international markets, and that they have a differentiating aspect because they wager, they bet on environmental protection and child protection. If we have time, I would like to ask you a question later on, but at this moment, I'm going to ask Maria Paula Aristizabal and Ofelia to turn on their mics. You who work in HIMSA, can you tell us a little bit about the work that you have done with Somos Tesoro, and in particular related to due diligence based on the craft code? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Paola, are you there? Ophelia. Ophelia, maybe you want to talk?
Te vemos, pero no te oímos.
I can see you, but not hear you. Okay, maybe let's wait a little to see if she can connect again. I don't know if Paola is connected. She's not. Okay, so at this very moment, what we can do is call the mayor. No, call the environmental, agrarian, and mine secretary of San Roque, Mr. Juan Fernando Agudelo. Mr. Juan Fernando Agudelo, can you open your video and unmute your mic?
Hola.
Hello. Hello, and thank you very much for your time and for being here with us today. I would like to ask you to tell us what the changes have been, changes that you have perceived with the miners, with the work that has been implemented with the project Somos Tesoro. Good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Fernando Agudelo. I am the Secretary of Agriculture and Natural Resources of the municipality of San Roque. At the municipal administration, for us, Somos Tesoro has been a wonderful ally in the development of each of the mining policies that they came to develop based on their competencies. For us, they have been a key support in eradicating child labor that tends to happen in our territory. We had a big population of youth working in mining activities, and as part of our experience, everything related to safety, the support in mining safety that they have been able to implement, they have supported us in the different sectors, safety in different sectors, in the agrarian sector, the creation of vegetable gardens in La Maria. We, the secretary, are implementing vegetable gardens, 20 vegetable gardens that they gave us the kit for, and we help the families with technical support. This month, we already started the technical support to these families. So we've had lots of experiences. Well, first, we got to know what we had in the territory. We had been vetting or working with the Gramalote project on formalization processes. It's actually a process of transforming the territory through sustainability. And to this end, all the support of the different institutions that have come to our territory have been significant and key. Somos Tesoro has been a great ally for us. And with the work that they have been implementing, for example, La Maria is a pilot project that already became a big company generating employment in the territory. And we believe that it's our pilot formalization project because this is the opening door for all the formalization processes that we have throughout the territory of the San Roque municipality, thanks to the different institutions that have supported us. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. Now, I would like to ask, maybe Ofelia has been able to sort her technical difficulties. I don't know if someone can help her open her mic, because what I see is that your microphone is turned off, is muted. Okay, while we see if we can help Ophelia unmute her mic, I would like to ask Geraldine Rojas if she can open her video, as well as the secretary. Mr. Secretary, can you turn off your video, please? Thank you. Geraldine, are you there? Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Geraldine, for your time and for this opportunity. We would like to ask you to tell us about the work that you have done with the youth from the ITA school. Can you tell us about the changes that you perceive? Can you tell us a little bit in general your experience with the Somos Tesoro project? Thank you very much. I am a psychologist and professor, Geraldine Rojas. I work in Paipa. Well, the implementation of the Somos Tesoro project led to a lot of changes among my students. Ever since the project arrived, they received the project with a surprise and joy. We implemented new technologies that changed the schemes of traditional education processes in the classroom, and they promoted the participation of students regarding activities that were proposed, regarding also the support of these professionals. And we were able to identify many particular interests on the part of the students, talking about their life projects, and also allowing them to become interested in risk factors of child labor, because they are, let's say that they live in communities where there's the risk of child labor, because these are mining sectors, and that they also were able to acknowledge this and to be part of the changes regarding child labor in their communities. So these kids, these children become more interested in the topic, and they started setting themselves goals, goals which sometimes limit them or are limited for them because of their economic difficulties. But through this methodology, they realize that there's no impossible goal and that any goal can be reached. Pilar, your microphone is all muted. Thank you, Geraldine. Could anyone help Berenice to unmute her mic?
Berenice, ¿tú pudiste conectarte?
Berenice, I don't know if you are connected. Yes, she is connected, but her microphone is muted and her video is turned off. Yes, good morning.
La señora Berenice hizo parte del componente de medios de vida. Ella participó.
Berenice is part of the component of community component. And we want to ask her a few questions. Can you tell us about the support you received from the Somos Tesoro project? Yes, of course. Good afternoon. In the year 2015, at the end of the 2015, I started participating in the project with the other people from my community. I remember that in the first workshop where our on protecting surroundings or environment, where we learn to identify child labor and the impact that that has on our children and the municipality. We realized that child labor was part of our childhood, but we did not know anything about the impact that that created on us. Then we had workshop on family economy, where we were taught about the importance of savings in the households, and we were taught to create saving strategies. For example, with vegetable gardens, we could grow our own food and have it available without having to buy it. And so we were able to save money by producing our own food. The food from the vegetable garden also was then used and cooked, and we had workshop where they taught us how to better cook the vegetable we grew. Could you tell us about the work that was carried out in the vegetable gardens? Yeah, we were taught how to have our own grow and have our own gardens by first analyzing the soil and in order to know the condition of the soil and what was needed as complement. We were trained with courses on vegetables, how to grow them without using chemicals. In other words, organic production. And the last question we have for you: can you tell us about the changes you talk about in the community after the intervention of Somos Tesoro? Well, on a personal level, it was of great help because I used to work with artisanal craft and also by making clothes. So of course this is something that helped us, and it also taught me. It also taught myself and the different families of the municipality about the negative impact of child labor and the importance of having our children in school until they reach the age to work. And in free time, these children, our children, should be engaged in activities of leisure through the help of the municipal authorities that engages them in activities like music and sports. Thank you very much, Berenice. This is the end of the question. Thank you very much thank you very much. Berenice, for insisting and finally be able to talk to us. We will end in a few minutes, but before we do this, I would like to ask Alejandro to talk about the case study that the project has carried out on the comprehensive approach of the project in relation to the implementation of the craft code. Alejandro, you have the floor very briefly, please. Hi, Alejandro. Yeah, as Pilar said, the Somos Tesoro project made a case study to identify the effect of the relationship between private enterprise, in this case, Somos Tesoro Pact, and the public-private sector. Through one of the results of this study is that the relationship between the actor was improved, and also that relationship drives new way of dialogue to develop action to reduce child labor and improve community development. And the most important part of the results or finding of the case study is that activities are now mid and long term. Also, the cooperation or the international cooperation, of course, drives, because the alliance between international countries and the local entity reduces the effects of child labor. Sometimes several organizations arrive to develop activities at the field level, and many times certain activities are a repetition of others. So some people attend one, two more workshops, and but in the end, these workshops are exactly the same, and so people abandon these processes because they see a repetition of the notions being conveyed. And we also identified that the alliances are more effective and productive between the international cooperation, the public sectors, when government period starts, because the resources are allocated and agenda are developed at the beginning of every administration. So timing is important in order to improve results. And we also have identified that the communication strategy is something crucial, something key in these collaborative processes. So an ongoing communication among partners generates new opportunities. This may be redundant and seem obvious, but really in practice is not that obvious. So our study finds that communication is a key element in the process. This is a brief and quick summary of the case study. Thank you very much, Alejandro. Unfortunately, because of time reason, initially we had thought we would have a session of question and answer. If you have questions, please send them or write them on the chat box, and we will try to answer to them after the event. So, Alejandro, I will continue with the words, with final words. Of course, go ahead, Pilar. Well, so thank you very much to all the people that have participated to today's event. Thanks to all the people that have made this event real. It's been really a collective event. And to conclude, I would like, first of all, highlight the alliances that were generated through Somos Tesoro project. The thousands of people have enabled this project. And secondly, I'd like to highlight the participation of children and young people in the project with their commitment, initiatives, and interests. Somos Tesoro has become a project of all of us. And thirdly, I'd like to invite you to participate in the activities of the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and also with the collaborative spirit of Somos Tesoro. Once again, thank you very much. I hope to have one more opportunity in the future to be with you. Pilar, thank you very much. And once again, thank you to all the people that participated and also joined our event through the YouTube channel. This is the result of 7 years of work where the human team really made a significant change. Good afternoon to all of you, and thank you very much once again.
you